We're back. It's a couple weeks since the last time I was working on this. Last we were here, we discovered that I have a pretty large crack in my rim. Right here. Oh, hell no.
What?
That's not good. I have a cracked rim.
So we can't put it back on because we need a new one.
Yes. I have some pictures, but I don't know if it shows very well on this. You can kind of see where the dent is right here, but right where my finger is, it's a pretty decent crack. But anyway, that's not usable. So I searched eBay and Facebook Marketplace and stuff for like a used KLR rim / tire option. It's expensive. They're not great. If you can find one, they're over 200 bucks, and sometimes they're not even straight. They're bent already, scratched up. So I ended up looking at some other options. So what I did do, this Moose Racing set. So I got this Moose Racing 20-inch rim. I don't know if you can see that. It's a 21 by 1.6 36 spoke. So I got that, and then I got the appropriate set of spokes and spoke nipples. The plan is to just take the old rim and spokes off and then put a new rim and spokes on the hub. Never done this before, so I'm going to be learning as I go. I'll watch some YouTube videos. Hopefully it's not as difficult as I think it will be, but we'll see. Let's get started. So I've just been kind of fiddling. I've been taking out some old spokes, putting in some of the new spokes, and just making sure the sizing made sense, because on the Moose Racing setup, you get two part numbers. You get the -1 and the -2, and they're different lengths by a little bit. So -2s go on the left side, and then on the right side of the hub, so the -1s go on the right side of the hub, both inner and outer. And then I'm going to remove all the spokes, delacing everything, and then we'll lace it back up with the new rim. Went ahead and just found these two pieces of wood. I want to try and maintain the spacing of where the rim's at relative to the hub. So that's what I did for now. Let's go ahead and start removing all this. Some of these are pretty seized on there. It's a good case for making sure you use anti-seize. Okay, full circle. Now it's time to get the drill out. Take all those out real quick. You can just use a Phillips head on the end of these spoke nipples. Alright, that's all the spokes. So then I will do all the left sides together since they're the same size. So I can come up with a better storage solution. Okay. L for left side. I'll do the same on the right side. The rim can go out of the way now. Okay. Label these. Right side. So let's take a look at how bad this rim actually was. Look at how bad that crack got after all the tension's off. It's like definitely, it was being supported by the spokes pretty badly. Crack goes all the way down there. You can see light through it. Pretty bad. I'm glad I caught it. It's a pain to do, but I'm glad that wasn't happening somewhere in Alaska, British Columbia. Here are all my -1s. pretty good. I'm just gonna check my pictures again. We got all the spokes in. Went ahead and got some anti-seize. We put a little bit on each of the spokes. Okay, that's anti-seize on all of them. I don't think the rim direction matters, but could be wrong. And I guess the one thing that I can sort of tell so far is just that, like, if it feels like you're forcing it, it's probably not the right way. Okay, and that's the whole first side laced up, so we'll go ahead and flip over and do the other side. Now we need our -2 pieces, and we're going to do all the inner ones first. I know this looks really confusing because I felt the same way when I was like researching how to do this, but it kind of just makes sense when you're doing it. Like the way things line up, it just kind of makes sense. So if you're scared of that aspect of it, I would say it's not as bad as it looks. This on camera probably just looks like a jumbled mess, but something about doing it now, actually, like in person, it doesn't feel that scary. Okay, so all the -2s in place. Now we'll do a little bit of anti-seize on all those, and same thing. I have no idea how much anti-seize you're supposed to use. I'm just kind of doing one side and hoping it's enough and not too little or too much. Okay, that's anti-seize on all of them. Now it's time to put the nipples on all of them. And the same thing, just get it started. No need to tighten it down because once you get to this side, you'll need that slack. Okay, all spokes have been attached. Now it's just time to go through and double check my work and make sure that the crisscross pattern lines up with the pictures that I took before and also with the 2012s, just to double verify. Verified everything, the spoke pattern looks good, so I'm going to flip this over like this, because this is roughly what I assessed to be the proper alignment for the spacing of the rim. But basically what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to go around and just tighten all the spokes to like the same distance. I'm not measuring torque or anything. This is just like the first pass to try and get everything aligned. And because there's 36 of them, I'm going to use this guy. Also, the new spoke nipples that I got are like a 5mm hex, not a Phillips head anymore. So that's one difference. But I'm not really going to tighten them. This is just to like take out the manual labor part of spinning a screwdriver 36 times. So let's just try and get them all the same amount of thread showing or something. We got some that are a little bit tighter than others. We got some that are not even seated. So I'm just gonna find the ones that are kind of tight and back them off a bit. Everything is pretty loose. I might just go around and finger tighten everything now. But I think I'm gonna go where you skip like 1, 2, 3. Might do that. Alright, we got our wheel pretty much built here. Now let's check to see how true it is. Off the bat, it's not the worst it could be, but it is definitely got a little wobble to it, which is to be expected. I haven't really done any sort of adjustments, but you can definitely see the wobble. Alright, pulling up the climber manual as well as like an actual Kawasaki owner's manual. I don't know if you can see this, but if this is the view of the front rim as we look at it here, that side being the brake disc and this being the rim, the spacing from the brake disc seating surface to the outside edge of this rim needs to be 37.75 millimeters plus or minus 0.5, so the tolerances are pretty small. Best way I could figure to measure this was just kind of seat it up against that brake disc, giving me kind of like a straight edge from there, and then this distance, I don't know how you can see this, but the distance from this to this needs to be around 31.75, which I've basically just rounded to like 32, because that's within that tolerance spec. There's 32. Looking at that, like it's pretty close to being spec. It's definitely not half a millimeter. So I think what I'm doing is when I go to true everything, I'm gonna make sure to pull everything to the right, and then that should get us in spec. I don't know if it's a good plan, but it's a plan. So I found our spot that's in spec. I marked with a piece of tape my goal. So this is what I will try and get the rest of the tire to kind of pull out to. This is my low side. Okay, we're back. It's another day. We're just gonna keep working on trying to get this wheel trued, get going again. Is looking pretty good. Definitely less than 2 millimeters, I'll show you. My little pointer stick, and you can see that gap there, hopefully. That gap can't be more than 2 millimeters. We still got some radial up and down movement, but I'd say that lateral is looking pretty good. Pretty straight. And one way that I like to verify my being within 2 millimeters is using my feeler gauge. I have a 1 mil feeler on here, so I figure if I can't slip a 1 mil between my pointer and my tire, or my rim rather, then I'm definitely within 2. So I can't even fit 1 millimeter, so definitely within 2. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then the other thing we need to verify is our rim offset. I remember the spec that it called for was about 32. It's like 31.75 millimeters from the surface of the mating surface between the disc and the hub to the edge of the rim here as 32, and I'm just kind of roughly approximating it. And this one at this point is 32, and then just based on that, that is within 32. I'm just going to take multiple measurements, a couple different spots, and make sure I'm pretty evenly. Yep, that looks good. I'm pretty pleased with that. So now we got to do the up and down. And I believe to adjust the hop, you need to, instead of doing left right, you're doing all of them in a section. That way it either pulls or pushes the rim away from the hub. So let's. And again, I believe it's 2 millimeters for the hop. My gauge just kind of pointing the inside of the rim there to find my hop. As of now, it looks like the biggest hop that I have is right here. And if I took my 1 mil, it looks like it's about 1 millimeter. Okay, so it's slightly greater than 1 mil there. So I think that's probably just barely in spec, but I'm gonna try and get it better. So tighten everything like about a quarter turn. See if that helps. Okay, it's not touching anymore, so that did do something. This spot right here probably needs to be loosened. I think I'm gonna go through a tightening sequence on everything. everything's tight and not just like loose for no reason. It actually seems to have helped with the hop a decent amount, but it might have thrown off my lateral. So let's retry lateral for that lateral run out. So I think that's probably fine. And my hop's not looking too bad either, so let's just try that. Well, I think that's pretty good. We're within 1 millimeter of run out. I think this wheel is nice and true. Now it's time to like tighten everything up to a torque spec, which I need to look up real quick. Right, spoke nipple is between 18 and 35 foot-pounds, so I'll probably just do 30 foot-pounds. Got the Tusk torque wrench here. It's pretty nice. I've used it before. You just do the tightening sequence all the way around and get everything down to the torque spec. I'm just gonna do like a quarter turn on each one. So that's the third round. So just make sure that our runout's good. All right, our radial runout's fine. Let's try the lateral. There. Go through and make sure everything torques down one more time. Here we are again. I find this to be a very familiar place. Well, we got the rim built, we got it trued, we got it torqued. Now all that's left to do is put the new tire on. This is just, again, the Mitas EO7. Start by getting the rim tape on here. Again, verifying the direction of the tread is important because I've done this where I put it on backwards and I had to take it off again. So I try not to make that mistake again. This is the direction of rotation, and that is what we want. A little yellow mark is here, indicating the lightest portion of the actual tire, so my valve stem will go roughly in that area. And you know, I've found that it's just a little bit easier to put this in now, but I know there's probably reasons not to do this, but I always struggle with getting the valve stem into the hole if I don't do this. So I want the tire to go on like that. Okay, that was fairly undramatic. Little to no rim scratching. Looks like it's seated pretty well all the way around, so. And that is how you rebuild a KLR rim. I didn't feel like that process was actually too bad. I learned a lot. It was less scary than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. And then of course, I'll have to keep checking the torque spokes for the first couple of rides because I know things kind of loosen up and settle after the first couple rides with new rims and spokes, so I'll keep checking that. I forgot, I still have to balance the tire, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Let's find the heavy spot, and I assume it's gonna be it's not the valve stem. That's our heavy spot. Wow, that's almost perfect. Look at that. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. I tried to find a weight that would fit better, but I ended up just going with one of these automotive square ones that I had because it was the perfect weight. It just looks kind of ugly, but I mean it does stick on there and I think it'll be solid. It just doesn't look amazing, so whatever. Okay, cool. And that is the balanced front tire. Now we can go on the bike. And here we are another day. Time to put the new tire that we just rebuilt onto the 2018. This is the 2012 tire on here right now. It's just been a placeholder so that I can roll this thing around and move it out of the way. Front tire installed. Let's go ahead and throw the other one on, 2012. All right, and there you have it. 2 Alaska Adventure Ready motorcycles. It's been about a year of working on both these things. I've learned a lot of hard lessons, a lot of good lessons. I think that these skills that I learned will be very valuable to us on our trip, and I've appreciated the journey so far. I mean, it hasn't been all fun, but I mean, things rarely are always fun. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how everything's gone. I gotta get these things out in a test ride and make sure everything works well, but I think this is it. A year later, we're ready for Alaska. So hopefully my work holds up. You know, I'm sure we'll see some videos months from now where it didn't work out so well, but for now we can hope. Thanks for following.